Throughout history, humankind has used stories to educate, entertain, and to inspire.
Storytelling. The first exercise that we were given to do is to tell a story ourselves by saying something from our past, something from our present, and something from our future. And the most important thing we were told is, don't be boring. So hello, I'm Sandy and this is my story. So when I was very young, my mum took me to the theatre. The smoke that they used all around, the kind of smell you got from the theatre, it really stuck in my mind. Like it stuck with me through all the years. But it was the Snow Queen we went to see. And up there on the stage, when the evil baddie, the Snow Queen, came on, I remember I was terrified. I was terrified of the Snow Queen. And I remember that feeling of being so scared, but also the power that she sort of commanded on the stage. So then I progressed through that to get to play my own villains in sort of children's touring productions. It was always kind of my goal. I got to play Captain Hook. I was very, very lucky to get to play Captain Hook. And then my sort of inspiration has kind of carried me forward, so that one day I hope to kind of be on a big stage with all the smoke and the lights and everything, and to have the same impact on someone else. When telling a story, have your own original style. Structure to a story is very important. It's important that it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And they should all be about the same length. It's a creative journey that you'll see in films, you'll see in stage plays and books. It all has a beginning, middle, and end, with a conflict in the middle and a resolution at the end. And that tells a good story.
Hey, your story's wonky.
Storytelling.
Story arc.
So, why do we tell stories? Well, stories change things. They can influence decisions. A story that I was told at the storytelling workshop was about vodka. It was about kind of in the Cold War, Americans, of course, wouldn't want to resell Russian products. But this guy had loads of money, had more money than he knew what to do with. And he decided that he was going to buy a boat full of lots of this Russian vodka. Now, of course, none of it sold. So he changed the story. He decided what he did is he changed the label on it, so it was an American spirit, and then it sold loads. So sometimes you go into a tour and you're very needing to kind of relax a little bit, because you go right into the sort of into the story. So it's a good exercise that I learned at the storytelling workshop was to kind of crunch your toes up, really into a ball. So it was like, it's fire, it's hell. And then you kind of breathe in, push all the air down to your diaphragm and just kind of release everything. And it just helps you kind of relax a little bit. It kind of puts you more in the zone and you're ready to tell your story. So from the minute the guests enter the sort of building and they see you've already started telling your story. So from your physicality, from your kind of appearance, someone will make a decision about you in the first few seconds. So if you kind of go, right, hello everybody, they know that they're ready to hear an exciting story. Pitch is really important, so you can go down in your register. You can go up in your register, maybe not that high. So you maybe you can vary it around, and it keeps the listener really engaged if you kind of change your levels. But the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to be like, hi, I'm here to tell the tour, at that level the whole time, because that will make people kind of switch off. So it's about kind of having sort of different levels for different sort of people that you're speaking to as well, and kind of going a bit lower, bringing them in for the story, and maybe bring it up a wee bit more energy there. So it's kind of going about high and low and keeping the story at all kind of different levels. So then the listener is going to get your story. They're going to kind of be really engaged with your story and with you. The rule of three is something that you can use while telling your story. Having a callback to something that you mention not once, not twice, but 3 times. And this is a really good sort of tool of good storytelling. Eye contact is very important. It engages you with the person you're telling the story to. So if you keep eye contact with them, they feel like they're involved in the story, they're engaged in your story. So your body language is very important. You want to be open, you want to be kind of approachable. You don't want to stand with your arms folded, you don't want to be kind of looking like bored. You want to be up, you want to be present in the moment. You just want to be engaged, kind of for body language. Breath control, just kind of timing how you're speaking, so you're not kind of running out of breath too much or anything like that, or you're not kind of speaking so fast that you don't even know what you're saying. So yeah, so breath control will also help relax you while you're speaking and things like that as well, and you're able to tell a good story. So one of the most important things about storytelling is listening. Listen to your audience, to your group, and involve them in the story. Something that's really good is kind of getting to know each of their names, because they have that personal sort of connection with you, and it's like you're telling the story to them. Put the customers in the stories. Storytelling is like acting, so you don't want to sound like you're reading from a script. You will have that sort of second voice inside our head where we could be standing saying something we said so many times over and over again. But if someone is watching you and you're kind of thinking about what you're thinking about in your head, it can be quite obvious sometimes that you're maybe just relaying something that you've said over and over again. So you want it to seem like it's the first time that you are saying these things. It's like you're telling yourself the story while you are telling the audience the story. Storytelling. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you do, but they'll never forget how you make them feel. So there are different characteristics that will both be in the audience and what we all are. And it's important to kind of have this in your kind of style, in your performance style, to incorporate most of these characteristics, because you will appeal to a different member of your kind of of your audience, of your kind of the guests. So anyway, the first one is the nurse. The mood is calm. The expectation, it'll be all right. The wants is universal happiness, and the physical attributes is approachable. So a nurse is someone in the office who would be like, oh, do you want a cup of tea? I'll go and make the tea. It's all right. You just sit there. I'll go and make all the tea. And then at the end of the tea break, the kind of when all the cups are there and stuff like that, oh, you leave that, I'll get that for you, don't worry, you just put your feet up there, I'll go and wash up the dishes there. So they're very kind of approachable. So if you're someone sitting on a chair, you would kind of come down to their level and be like, are you okay there? You alright? Yeah, anything get you at all? You relaxed? You all good there? Yeah, anything you need? You happy with all of this? Yeah. Using words of affirmation, things like, is that alright for everybody? You okay with that? Yeah. So that's kind of the nurse.
The nurse.
The nurse in the audience or in your group is probably someone who will want you to do well. They'll be happy to be there, and they'll be just expecting the best things, and they'll think that nothing's going to go wrong or anything like that. Oh, isn't this just marvellous? Isn't this just marvellous? Oh yeah, I'm having such a good time. This is marvellous. But they also might be concerned for any kind of members that they're possibly with. Like it could be a mum in a family or a dad in a family, and they might be the one who's kind of concerned about their kids that they have come with. Oh dear, you're right there? Yeah. Oh, it's marvellous. The next character is the governor.
The governor.
The governor's mood is determined. The expectation is to take control. The wants is success, and the physical tribute is credible. So their posture would be very different. It'd be kind of upright, very kind of serious, very kind of, this is what's happening, this is what we're doing. You sit there, I'm going to tell you this, it'll be good. And then we're going to go through there, and we're going to tell you this, and that'll all be good too. There's going to be a structure to everything you do, and then that's all going to be good too. It's about just quite authoritative and being kind of very upstanding and very kind of like, we need decisions done, we need them done now. So it's about kind of, I think when it comes to the health and safety at the start of the speech and things like that, this is the sort of thing that the governors will be looking out for, and kind of, you know, all the rules, and they'll also maybe focus a little bit on time sometimes as well. So yeah, these are the ones to watch out for in the audience. Not to kind of stereotype any kind of characters here, but the governor's usually going to be a dad or a granddad.
Kids, come on, yeah, come on, get in there, come on, we're off to make chocolate, come on, kids, come on, right, come on.
The Alchemist.
The Alchemist. So the mood is reserved, the expectation is to own the details, the wants is to be certain, physical attributes is credible. So they're like scientists, they're very kind of precise, you know, all the details. They can be quite anxious, and they'll need to know what's happening here. Yeah, they kind of need to know what's going on all the time. They need to know what's going on.
Oh gee, I really hope that they tell us all the facts and all the figures about what time we're gonna move on to the next room. Oh gee, I really need to know this information. I would like to know this information. Oh, they told us, yes, they told us the information.
They want to focus a lot on details. So even when you bring them into the jungle and things like that, they're going to like look at all the chairs and they're going to be like, where am I sitting? I need to know where I'm sitting right now. Where am I sitting? How long am I sitting here for? That sort of thing. That's probably a wee bit over the top, but a little bit like that. A little bit like that's kind of an alchemist. It's catering to them as well. I'm kind of picking them out. So these are the alchemists. So in your speech, just kind of, just kind of being very kind of settling anxieties there, settling the anxieties with them, so they can just relax, because they will normally be with they're probably part of families and things like that as well, alchemists. Well, they'll come in all sorts, but you will find them probably in, that's usually the ones that are probably a bit stressed and not really sure they're a bit anxious about everything. So that's kind of the alchemist.
The minstrel.
The minstrel. So the minstrel's mood is energetic. The expectation is to be liked. The wants is to impress. And the physical attribute is approachable. So these are people that are just here for a good time, and they're probably very smiley, and they want jokes. They've come for a stand-up routine or something, and to make chocolate. You know, they're very kind of fun-loving.
Yo man, we're here for a party! Ho!
How to put that into your performance and things like that. It's just kind of being a bit more light-hearted and kind of reading the room and finding out kind of what they sort of like, and smiles and laughs and a bit crazy, a bit quirky, but just little bits here and there would kind of brings them in a bit as well, you know, just, oh, we're all here, we're all having fun, you know. And then for the with the alchemist, you're like, but we are doing this, but we're having fun too. And the nurse, are you all right there? And the governor. So we're now going to move into the next room, you know. So just kind of keeping a bit of these characters in all the in all your kind of tour, throughout your tour. So you're kind of catering to each one of these characters. Think why you're telling the story. It's an exciting story, or it's a valuable story. It's a story worth telling. Storytelling.
The rule of three doesn't mean repeating kind of 100 times, although it would be a fun drinking game if you drank every time you heard kind of. Don't be like Sandy, be like you! Now go and tell a fantastic story like only you can.
Storytelling.